Hello and welcome to Ballam Farm. This is episode 4, part 1. In this episode we're going to go through the milk collection for the different barns and deliver those to various places. And then we'll put some some hay into the cattle barns. We'll show you where they are and we'll get them all moved by the end of December. The movement of the cows will be in the second episode. Right, so let's just go and have a check on the barns. Make sure there is actually milk to collect after we moved all the cows yesterday. Yeah, there's plenty there. There's enough food for the rest of the day. We will have to feed by the end of this month as well, so that should take a bit of time. It's probably be in episode 2, or part 2 should I say, of this 4th episode. Let's have a look at the side barn, see if there's any milk to collect there. Yeah, we'll have to collect some milk from there as well. Right, so there are different places to collect, so I will go through all the collection points for these barns during this next few minutes as we collect milk and deliver it to different places. So first of all, we collect from the bottom field. There was still some left over from last month that needed to be collected. I think there's about 6,000 litres, so we'll pick that up and we'll put that into the farm shop. I don't think we've actually put milk into the farm shop yet. We've put cheese. I think we put cheese and a bit of butter in there. Yeah, the idea is that eventually we will have bits of everything going in to the farm shop and to the farmers markets, etc., just depending on what's available every day, at least as long as something goes in every day to each of those 3 places, to the farm shop and the 2 farmers markets. Right, so we are at the farm shop, and we'll put this in and we should get some income from that into the manufacturing sector, into the farm sector. So the farm shop does pay us a wholesale price. Right, there we go. So that's just over 8,000 from the farm shop. Nice little business going there. Right, so these are the basic places where milk can be delivered to. So essentially that's our milk run now. So every day we'll have to deliver milk to each of those places, with the exception of the ice cream cart. The ice cream cart can take 8,000 litres a day, so we can't supply any more than 8,000 litres. Otherwise, because of the price, we would just sell everything there. But all they can accommodate is 8,000 litres a day, so up to 8,000 litres a day can be sold there. But all the other places must have at least 1,000 litres delivered. Generally speaking, it will be more than that. Right, so this is the old barn. This is the side barn. And as you can see, the collection point is very, very tight to the side barn, to the extent that I had a little tire scrape as I was trying to get in. But in any event, it is easily collectible. And easy enough to get out of there. So this we'll put into the creamery, and that should keep us going for another day in the creamery. keep us at full production. Although it's not a full 8,000 litres, that's just over 7,000 litres. There is still a substantial amount in reserve in the creamery, so there's no problem with that. Right, as per normal, that offloads nice and quickly. I'm toying with the idea of putting a second creamery in, but just don't quite know where or how at this point. So it is on the agenda for future development, but we'll see how that goes. Right now, let's just get everything going as well as we can. Right, let's close this gate off, and then we'll go and have a look at the main barn and see if there's anything. Oh, well, we know there's milk there to collect. Let's close the bottom gate here. Don't need to go in there. Well, not for the foreseeable future, let's put it that way. Let's make sure that's all closed up. Yeah, there will be times when I forget to close gates, but I am trying quite hard to close gates. It's one thing you learn on an animal farm is don't leave the gates open. The next thing you know, you're running around with buckets of feed on the road trying to coax animals back into their pens. Right, so let's collect the milk from the new barn. Not sure if there's a full load here. We'll soon find out. I didn't really check to see. Yeah, just a couple of 100 litres short of 8,000, so that's pretty convenient. I'm sure there'll be more in the next collection because they had lost a little bit of condition with the transport. They should be back to full condition by now. Right, let's just get this spun around. Always have trouble with these type of trailers. With the reversing, never easy. Sure, I can just swing it. I should be able to just swing that. It'll pivot on the back wheels. On the back axle, yeah. Yeah, that's good enough. Right, we'll just top this off. Get a full 8,000 and I can take this down to the ice cream maker. I want to, as far as possible, give him 8,000 litres a day because his price is so much better than in any of the other places, but so this is the old shed, and the collection point is also fairly tight, but it's not too bad. Once you know where they are and you've done them, you they just become routine then, don't they? So it's not a major issue at all. Just got to remember where they are, and it's not too difficult if you do it every day. Right, so we're now going to head off to the ice cream maker. We can sell him 8,000 litres worth of beautifully fresh milk. There we go. Just coming down to the golf course, and of course we always deliver to him here. So that should bring in a nice little bit of income for today. Let's see how much that gets. Just under 15,000. Can live with that. So let's get back up to the farm, go and collect what's left in the old barn, and we'll split that between the two farmers markets. It's a little bit difficult to say exactly how much we'll put into each of them, but there should be, I would imagine, around about 6,000 or 7,000 litres left in there. There was only about 200 litres that we took out to bring down here, so should still be a relatively decent amount. So we'll be able to put a couple of thousand litres into each of the farmers markets, and that'll satisfy our criteria for today. Yeah, 6,000 litres. Was it? It's a full 8,000 litres. So at old barn, I suppose we had the cattle in there for a bit longer. Yeah. So we'll split that between, as I said, between the two farmers markets. Oh, looks like a bit of problem with our sign. Vandalized or blown over. Don't recall it being very windy last night, so maybe somebody just messing around. I think we'll just put it down closer to the actual entrance to the farmers market. I do know from my Silver Run series that when it snows, that these signs do tend to go tumbling in the snow. Also, not too much of a problem. Right, let's get the delivery done. Try and put sort of half-ish in here. Right, just a little bit over half. Another 5,000 into the bank. Now we'll put the rest into the golf course market, and then that'll be the delivery run for the day. Fabulous. And all done before the sun has come up, although it's 9 o'clock in the morning. Just a good old late sunrise of the UK. Right, so let's get back to the farm now, and we'll go and get the forage wagon hooked up, and we'll get some hay down into the cattle barns, into the beef cattle barns, get them ready to be moved in later on in the day. Let's park this up, get it back into its parking spot, keep the routine going, so you know exactly where this is in the morning, and it's ready to go for tomorrow, or for January. There we go. So that's the morning milk run routine set, until of course we move the cows back into the fields again. It's sort of March and April, I would think. Get the gates closed here. Yeah, so I I think, as I mentioned in the last episode, we're definitely going to, certainly in the winter time, have to work in the dark. Hopefully in the summertime, well, I know in the summertime we'll be able to work for longer periods in the light. Right, so we've got the forage wagon all hooked up. Let's get this filled up and then I can take it down to, well, this one, what I'll do, I'll put 2 loads of hay into the barn on this farm so that we can make silage out of it. Not silage, so we can add it to the silage to make TMR, because we've still got a bit of straw, but I'll eventually put that in as bedding into the cattle sheds. I don't think I'll get that done today. That'll probably have to be a January operation. So our silage will probably be 50-50 hay and our TMR mix will most probably be 50-50 hay and silage. I know it's probably not the most effective. We could pad it out with straw, but because we're not doing a lot of arable at this stage, straw is at a bit of a premium, and I do want to use it, that I do have, to bed down the cattle, the beef cattle. They will have to spend one night in some fairly Spartan conditions. And the reality is that we might have to, well, the likelihood is that we'll have to buy in straw for our bedding purposes. Right, so there's the first load done. Sun coming up in the horizon there, all looking very nice. So we just have to negotiate our way in now, and we will store this in the bottom 2 clamp areas. They're not actually silage clamps, so basically just storage areas. Just get that in there. There's the barn silage additive. We'll have to move that once we've offloaded it here as well, because although I don't think we'll need more than this one clamp for this current operation, but we will fill this up when we make more hay in the next months or so. Although we would not, in real life, we would not normally be making hay in winter. It needs must at this stage. Right, so there's the first load in, and we'll put another load in there. So it'll be sort of just under 50,000 litres worth of hay. Certainly be enough for feed for tonight. We will have to make some hay the next month. Right, so this is the next load. Get that in there. I've just been thinking in this little bit of silence of whether I should actually do a winter make of hay. I mean, it's not really in keeping with what I'm doing. Given the situation in reality, I would have to buy in hay. So I might well have to leave those fields and then just buy in hay. Let me know in the comments what you think. Should I buy in hay? I've got silage. The silage will last for a little while. Maybe we should just buy in some hay every time. We can get it delivered to the bin on the farm from the store, so that's not an issue. So I'll think about that in the rest of this episode and see if there's any comments that come back on that, and then make a decision. Yeah, because the more I think about it, I think I will have to buy it in, because there's just no ways in real. I know this is not really a fully real life simulation, but I'm trying to play it reasonably fair. There's no ways the grass would be so wet that would be on the tractors driving over there would just ruin it in any event as well. So yeah, I think that's probably what we'll do, and then we'll do an early spring cut to get some more in, and we can then stockpile. We might even have to bale some to ensure that we have enough winter feed for the next season. It's the problem with starting so late in the year, that there are some limitations on producing our winter feed. Right, so we've got two there. We'll get that done. We'll get this loaded up, and then we'll head off. I'll drive down to so we'll take a drive down to the beef cattle sheds. So I'll drive all the way down there so you can see how we get there. Let's just make sure that everything's safe, and yeah, that looks all good. Let's go. Let's head on down. It's a nice little drive. I'll show it now, and then it's done, then you know how I get there. Driving between different places, especially between this part of the farm and the cattle sheds, takes a little bit of time. It's not that much time really, but when you're trying to limit the length of the episodes, it's just the easiest way to trim down time is the travel time between spots. Yeah, so we just made that turn. Just remember there's gates when you drive down this road, gates at the top there, which I had already left open because I have already made one delivery already, and there's another set of gates just no, this is the S-bend. Another thing I like about this map is that they haven't just made straight roads between there. You have to think about that S-bend a little bit when you're driving. You don't want to take it too quickly, especially if you've got a load on the back. And I think we're just coming up to where the second gate is now. There we go, there it is there. I'm going to take a left turn here with a golf course on the right hand side, and all the way down the left hand side is the grazing field for our beef cattle, and that field can accommodate 250 cows, but we do not have anywhere near that in terms of accommodation, winter accommodation for the cows. The winter accommodation is only 80. So in the next episode we will have to sell at least 20 of our beef cattle, which is not too much of a problem because it'll bring some income in. And of course it is December, so there will be a good demand for meat, being Christmas time. A lot of people like their beef roasts at Christmas time as well, so well, I certainly do. So that works out quite well. Right, so here we are. So we'll put this into the bottom barn. Can open the gates. Well, let's just first I'll quickly show you. So this one, it takes 50, I think. Yeah, there we go, 50. And we'll put the Anguses into there. And this one takes 30, I think. Yep, 30. And we'll put the limousines into there. We'll put 30 of them, or at least, well, a maximum 30. Oh, another little problem, there's no gates on this shed. Not too worried because they are fenced off there. That's probably something the map maker can have a look at when doing the updates. Should really have gates on there, but as I said, I'm not going to worry too much about that. And once again, relatively small, and I would imagine fairly easy fix for the map maker. Right, this is fairly tight getting in here. There we go. So at least we learnt our lesson from the last time. We put the feed in first, so we won't have as big a drop off in condition on the cattle when we move them. Not very far to move. Once again, it would be great if we had a little herding system where we could just herd from one field to the barns. Right, so that's the last lot of hay collected. Take that back down to the cattle, top them off. And we'll put this into the big shed, the big cow shed. Don't think it'll take it all. There we go. Gate open. Let's see how much it takes. I'll just leave the balance of the hay in the forage wagon here, and then in the next in January I'll just top off these animals. Of course, that does mean we'll have to also buy, if we don't do a winter cut, we'll have to buy in feed for these cattle. In that, the more I think about it, it's the way it should be played. I know it's going to be tight in terms of money, but yeah, it's what I would have to do. Right, well, I think we're going to end this episode. Well, this part 1 of episode 4. Part 2 will come out either later today or tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you in part 2 when we move the cattle and feed the dairy herd. Cheerio.